Peace community, peace community. If you are new, welcome to the community. If you're a part of the community, welcome back. We started a little earlier than usual right now, so it's going to take a second to trigger, but you already know, man. I just want to get the content out so that we could get into something else, because I also have something else scheduled as well. Salute to everybody on the pull-up. You already know the vibe. It was, great speaking with Kari. To having to come and speak with Kari. And, to understand certain things, I think that we have to put ourselves in a person's mind. And sometimes the best way to put ourselves in a person's mind without putting ourselves in the actual person's mind is to talk to people that been through situations that a person has been through. So this is what garnered me to go about doing this dialogue with Kari, who also was a victim of child molestation, So just wanting to understand, from those viewpoints from him being a victim and how things can, sometimes shift very fast, and how a victim can also sometimes become or be a perpetrator, right? So we just want to look at things on all scales. Salute to everybody on the pull-up. We appreciate it. Here at One Community, we do a lot of different content, and we just want to always make sure that we're bringing awareness constantly. So I do want to salute everybody as it builds, because you already know this is scheduled to go off at 11 o'clock right now, but we just want to just start it right now so that we could get into other things as well. But we do want to make sure that we give everybody the right context. We do want to say these videos and this video as well is not meant to cause no further trauma to any victim of molestation, of pedophilia, of any types of assaults, especially sexual. We are not trying to cause any further trauma. We do urge everybody tries to get help by, contacting someone. If you don't know who to contact, I'm going to go about leaving numbers on the screen during the stream. So salute to everybody on the pull-up. You already know we're going to be live with Kari. And it's going to be a really, really dope conversation. So you already know. Salute to everybody. Make sure everybody's dropping their likes on the pull-up. Drop your likes on the pull-up. Make sure more people get the message. Share. Drop the likes. We're going to get into real discussions and start understanding what it is that's going on. We've been seeing this breakdown go down for a while, this mental breakdown, especially coming from the Kwame Brown thing as well. We've seen a lot of that breakdown. So I'd most definitely want to get into that with Kari, starting from even the Kwame Brown situation with that. And, what do you think about that situation as well? Because so many situations happen that we do start forgetting about situations. You know what I mean? But when you start to put everything together, you get the culmination of everything. And then you really get a viewpoint. It gives you a hill. You know what I mean? Once you build up all the things together, it gives you a hill that you can stand on and you can see everything. So salute to everybody on the pull-up. Crazy. What's going on? Welcome to the platform. You already know. Let me bust up the applause for you. You already know. Welcome Kari to the platform. Most definitely, we were just on Forgotten Kings 2.0's channel. A very, very powerful build. A most definitely very powerful build with the brothers on the panel. It was really dope, man. I really, really appreciated that too as well. You know what I mean? I most definitely extended the platform for this brother to come up here and chop it up with us. You already know the vibes.
Screen's dark for some reason, bro. Like I said, I don't do this. I don't know how to do this, sir. So
it's cool, though. It's cool. They gonna get you. They gonna get you like Mr. Anonymous out this month. Yeah, man. You already know the vibe, man. Welcome to the platform. bust it up again just to make sure he get the warm welcome and the warm embrace. You already know the vibes, man. Yeah, man, we was having a deep conversation just now at Forgotten Kings platform, you know what I mean? And I was just commending that all of us there, you know what I mean, that we were able to have this powerful build, you know what I'm saying? They always pushing that, you know, people that look like us, melanated people like us, you know what I mean, can't get together, build, have reason, I mean, dialogue, sometimes agree to disagree, and it still be powerful and still get a message at the end, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Word up.
So
Word up.
I think that's powerful.
Word up. Appreciate the invite too, bro.
You know what I mean? Anytime you have anything that you feel you want to say, you know, I've created platforms for not just for myself, you know what I mean, and to lift my own voice, for other people to lift their voices as well. You know, I most definitely urge everybody to lift their voice, you know what I mean, especially in this time where people are becoming more courageous, being able to speak their truth of things that, you know what I mean, even at the time, you know what I mean, was more critical to talk about or more scary to talk about, you know what I mean? So I salute that. So everybody that's anything life.
Word.
How do you feel about, you know, the Kwame Brown and Hassan Campbell situation?
Man, it was entertaining to a point. You know what I mean? Everybody likes a good back and forth, but then there was a point, man, where it was just it got to the point, man. It was so over the top, man. It was cringeworthy, man. It was like a train wreck. It was really hard to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like I had to get an understanding of where both were coming from, and especially getting to know more about Hassan. You know, not to bash the brother, but like I said before to you on the last chat, that I've seen guys like him. I've also been him. You know what I mean? At the same time, you know, sometimes when you're an alpha and you can draw people in and people listen to you, and you get on your soapbox and you start rah-rah and you get people in, you kind of get to exaggerating and go and get to going over the top. And after a while, it's like being power hungry. After a while, you get to liking that audience and that crowd, and you just get to going more and more.
That's real, man. I most definitely agree with that. You know what I mean? You get to, you know what I mean? It's like a power thing. You know what I mean? I do agree with that, right? But now looking at Hassan Campbell, right? And we got Kwame Brown, right? I think Hassan Campbell bit off more than he could chew, right?
Yeah, he did.
He went to this platform to speak to this guy.
Most definitely.
And this guy was ready for him.
Right. Yeah, he was, and that's what I meant by, that's what, like I said before, there were two predators now. There was one who liked to chase his prey, and then there was the other one who was like a spider.
Yeah.
And he let Hassan come in knowing, and he warned Hassan. He said, "Man, I know y'all. I know exactly who y'all are." He said, "Be careful." You know, and he didn't heed that warning, man. When someone tells you, "Hey, man, don't come over here, stay over there," he should have just not. He shouldn't have got in Kwame's lane at all. That's the wrong lane to get into. He got ran over.
I think so too. I think it was the damn wrong lane for him to get into. But sometimes people be on a clout chase,
right?
And I think that's what it was, a case of clout chasing. I think he clout chased into that situation.
I agree that he was clout chasing. I agree 100% he was clout chasing. But I think that it is so much. That's just he's just built like that. He's been in prison, and he's built like that. He has to try to attack the biggest guy. He has to. It's that prison mentality where you always have to be tough, and if you can't be tough unless you beat the biggest guy, unless you're the biggest, you got the biggest muscles, or you're the baddest guy in the cell. And I think that's his mentality. So he just went out to Kwame, like I said, he was clout chasing. Yeah, I agree. He was clout chasing.
You just straight clout chased that situation. You know what I'm saying? So now, like the apology. Now he came in and he gave him an apology. Do you think that the apology was, you know what I mean, truthful or coming from an actual good place?
No. I think if you watched Hassan at least a couple times, that you know he couldn't commit to that apology. You know he couldn't commit to it. I think he was trying to be honest about the apology to a point. I think he was already preloaded that, well, if this motherfucker don't accept my, if this guy don't accept my apology, then I'm gonna let him know how I feel. I think he was already ready for the fact that Kwame wasn't going to accept it. I think he was prepared either way.
So now that brings us to the next question. I mean, is that, what do we think? Should Kwame, because we was just on another platform where a lot of people were just at, and a lot of people had opinions on this situation. Some people were saying he needs to delete his channel. Some people were saying some outlandish stuff as well. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel that he should stay on YouTube? Do you think that he should take a break? What do you think that he should do? Following after that sequence between him and Kwame, what should he do after that?
It's hard. That's hard to say. That's a good question. It's hard to say. I think he should definitely look deeper within himself. I think he should do that. I think he should reflect on what happened to him and make a decision about whether or not he needs to shut it down. You know, I wouldn't want to take somebody else's platform, or it's freedom of speech. He can say what he wants. I wouldn't want to say that about him or you or anybody else. But his message is what got him into that whole thing. So I wouldn't necessarily say take his channel down, but the messages he's putting out, no, sir. If it was just rap and entertainment, it's one thing. We can discern from rap and entertainment, but he's talking about real life stories and including other people's name in it. So he's trying to validate the violence. He's naming people to validate the violence that he committed actually happened. And that part of it, he needs to let that go.
And what's crazy is that, like I said, he gained his notoriety from, having sexual abuse and being molested or whatever the case from a young age, which is a trauma, and it's a traumatizing thing. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he gained notoriety through that.
Yeah, you hit a point. You hit that on the nose. He gained, like you said earlier, he gained notoriety from that. We didn't know from him until he did that. And I'll be honest, I followed the whole thing because, I'm 50, right? I'm hip to African Bambaataa and, and the whole Zulu Nation and all of that. So when he said that in the beginning, of course, I listened and I felt for the brother. But then he went from that to influencing people negatively when he had the opportunity to build. He had the opportunity to build.
Yes.
I watched one video of him where he said that he had spoken with African Bambaataa and they sort of made amends, and that he agreed to drop it if Bambaataa would do something for the kids or put a tombstone on a grave or do something to help people. And when Bambaataa didn't do that, that had nothing to do with him trying to force. He shouldn't have felt like he was in a position to let that go to force Bambaataa to do something, and then turn around and do something, in my opinion, almost as bad by influencing other people. With the violent speech, that was really hypocritical to say, "Well, I hate this guy, so much, I'm gonna let it go, but I'm preaching violence to everybody else. I'll beat up everybody else or shoot everybody else. That was nonsensical to me. That was double
Yes,
talk.
I
I
agree totally. He's good. I think that he's very good at that. I think he thought he was very good at that until he ran into it that was a little bit more strategic than him, a little bit more smarter than he was.
And that's what I mean by that jail mentality.
He ran up into that wall.
That jail mentality, where he would brag. If you listen, he brags on all of the guys that influenced him. All these names that he names out. I think that he sees himself as one of the big shots influencing young guys. One of those guys who believes they're tough and he has hitters and all of that type of, noise. I think he tries to put himself in this gangster mentality, but he wants to sit on a soapbox and have everybody watch a real gangster. And he knows people are watching. He knows people are following him. He knows people are going to behave exactly he does. And that's why he says it. He wants them to be like, he wants everybody to admire him in that gangster mentality so he can keep them close to him. That's what he wants.
I agree. That's what I think as well. But what's crazy is this, right? It's a next development in this situation, right? Is that years ago, right? Or what time ago? I got to do a little bit more history, right? But because, Star was on this case too as well, uncovering all these things with Bam and all of these things like that. Mm-hmm. Star said he gave him the address to where Bam was. And he said he never went to go do nothing about the situation. Sometimes even Star had to say, I had to question the situation to say, if this man did all these things he did to you, when you obtain information about the man or whatever the case may be, why didn't you pursue that? And why are you not really pursuing a case against this man?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. It seems more personal and it seems more like a relationship than what Hassan is really making it out to be.
You got a good point. You got a good point. I don't know. To your point, I don't know if you've seen. There's a picture of Hassan with African Bambaataa. Do you see that picture?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna read. Yeah, it ain't. It's not one. I can't tell you how old it is, but he's not a young man. He's an old man. He's an older man, and he's leaning in to take a photo with Bambaataa and like throwing up some fingers, like they cool. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I just saw it yesterday, and I was like, man, if you hate this man so much, why are you leaning in to take a photo with him? That's what I don't get. You can find it yourself.
I don't get that. You know what I'm saying? He still says, I love this man, all of these types of things. You know what I'm saying? He still says that regardless of the fact. You know what I mean? So it's more than what he's making it to be. You know what I'm saying? It's more of a relationship. It's more of a personal thing. You know what I'm saying? Even when like anybody that been through something, like an initial thing when this happened, he got like Sonetta, Brother Blue Pill, Red Pill. Everybody got together to put together that like thing against Bambaataa.
Yeah.
And then he spun around and then said they was trying to get him killed and all type of stuff. Like when you look at a person's methods, man, of how they going about things, man, come on. But this could be the mental health. This could be the mental health issue. It can be a mental health situation.
It could be, but it could be what you said, clout chasing.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Because otherwise,
we can't rule nothing out.
Otherwise,
you know what I'm saying?
Otherwise, if you're a gangster and somebody did that to you, you wouldn't have told everybody. If he is who he says he is, then he would have just went over there and rocked that snot box. He would have just did that. He would have did that, but he didn't. I heard.
Yo, man, it's crazy.
I was watching something just today. A little side note on it. I dig deep into everything, right?
Got to.
So there's this guy. I'm not trying to bash this dude because this guy had already said it himself. His name is B Stinger. You know who B Stinger is? You hear about that?
I don't know.
Okay.
But drop my mouth.
B Stinger was a young guy too. He was a rapper. He's from New York, and apparently Bambaataa did the same to him. And this is him interviewing. He's done several interviews on his own. His name is B Stinger. Look it up.
Yeah, I will.
And he said the same thing about Bambaataa. Okay. And the only reason why I came to B Stinger is because I was watching a Hassan video just today, and he brought up B Stinger, and he said that this is Hassan. I brought up what Bambaataa did, and I let it go, and I was cool with letting it go until B Stinger brought it back up. And I was pissed at B Stinger for bringing it back up. Those are the words he said out of his mouth. And I was thinking to myself, you let it go, and you pissed because somebody else brought it up?
That's crazy.
That didn't make any sense to me. Like I said, it's in one of his videos.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So he's clout chasing. So he turned around and blamed the other guy. He blames B Stinger. Instead of blaming him, he said, I let it go, but he brought it back up.
Now see what I mean? So, but that's kind of like a Stockholm. But then he said he don't got no Stockholm. But that's like a Stockholm syndrome because you siding with your abductor. You're siding with the person that's done this harm to you because he defends Bam. Right. It's a couple of instances where he's defending Bam, but then he has all these things to say about the man. You know what I got to say? Even though it's a few people that have come out and say that Bam is the person that they say. So it's not just Hassan Campbell. There were a few cases. I think Star uncovered like 8 people that did say this. You know what I mean? Yeah. But if it wasn't for some people coming out, I would have to think, man, did this really happen to him or not, man? Right. Wait a minute, man. As Bambaataa innocent? I'd have had to think because of how Hassan has went about this whole thing. He's clout chased this thing. This thing is a very serious thing. It's a serious thing in our nation and all around the world, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
This is a big issue. So it's not nothing to joke about. Like even in the Kwame Brown interview, right? They were talking about what he was saying about Kwame and things like that, right? Automatically he says to Kwame, you know, I thank you, man, for not bringing up what happened to me and stuff like that. It seems like he wants to bring it up because he wants people to feel sorry for him. Because my son's mom had something like that happen to her. You know what I mean? And in turn, she used it as a way to get sympathy. She used it as a way to make people do things for her and be around her. You know what I mean? Subconsciously, she did this.
Point well
you know
made.
What I'm saying?
Point well made. Point well made. Yeah, he did exactly that. He brought it up.
And then Kwame said, why would I say something like that? That is not a joke. Why would I bring up things like that? That's not funny to anyone. You know what I mean? And then he still was talking about it because he knew that he was losing in this so-called battle. And then he tried to use that as a leverage piece. I think that he threw that in there to get the people to kind of like lean on his side. Because from he came inside the stream, he was getting shot down.
Hey, look.
As soon as he came in, he was getting shot.
Look, the day before those two got together in that conversation, I watched Kwame talking about how Hassan had said something about him. And Kwame said, I'm not going to say anything back. He said, I know what happened to him. I wouldn't dare bring that up or say anything negative about someone who's been through that. And I know Hassan had to watch that video when the man said I wasn't going to, that was out of bounds and I wasn't going to say anything. Well, Hassan brings it up anyway. He brings it up anyway.
Why? Why does he bring that up? We know the story. Everyone knows the story. This was your claim to fame. You know what I'm saying? It's not like this happened or it came out later or something like that. This was his claim to fame. This is how everyone got to know him. I got to know him. You got to know him. We all felt sorry for him.
Right.
So it's not like we all didn't. We did feel sorry for Hassan. You know what I mean?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. You can.
And that's why I was calling Kwame a predator too, not in a bad way.
Yeah.
But
hurt people.
He predicted. Kwame predicted what Hassan was going to do and what he was going to say, and he calmly predicted what he said. I know he's going to want me to say something about him so he could play the victim, and then everybody attack me for mentioning that. But Kwame said, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. And I'll be damned. He had to have watched that video. Why?
But Hassan is too, listen, Hassan, even if he's seen it, he's glossed over it. These people are so on a high horse that he feel like he's famous. Who the hell is Kwame Brown? Like, he feel like he's this person. So he's not doing due diligence. You coming into a chess match where someone studied you or something like that. He's not doing this due diligence. He's not studying this guy right here.
No.
He's not doing no history, because the man asked him a question about his other videos. He said, you know what? I actually never seen your videos before. Like, come on, man.
Right.
You over here talking about a person that ain't seen his stuff.
Right.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that made no sense, man. He was definitely cloud chasing. That makes no sense, man. And I heard a lot of people. I heard a couple brothers say that they felt like Kwame should have been the bigger person and accepted his apology. And you know what? You know, in the heat of the moment, you might not want to accept somebody's apology. In hindsight, you might think of that. But in the moment when somebody's talking down on you, you might not want to hear it. And at the same time, you double talking out of both sides of your neck. It was easy to see that the apology wasn't real. And I could see Kwame going, well, yeah, I hear what you're saying. He go, I apologize, and Kwame kept going, well, I hear you. And I hear you,
but you know, hey. Does that mean that I got to accept that apology right now? That don't mean that. You talking about as a man, once I come and apologize. No, listen to me, son. This ain't your relationship that you're in at home with your woman or whoever you're with.
Right.
This is someone in the world, bro. Right. Even with your woman, sometimes you got to sleep on the couch. Right. It's not as easy as just because you apologize. You know what I'm saying? Right. What world does he live in? Is what I'm saying? The man said, okay, I understand you apologize, but I need to get into the methodology of this thing. Right. I want to understand why you did this.
And see, that's why I said Kwame is a predator. Because you got two different people. You got someone who has experienced what Hassan's experienced, that whole jail mentality, and got the young boys behind him. And you got Kwame, who's traveled the world and seen a lot of things and been in a lot of situations with people where he couldn't, you know, he may have wanted to get mad, but being professional, you cannot do that. You might have to sit around other people who do things differently. Kwame have been in those rooms where people do things differently and speak to each other calm. Hassan hasn't been in that situation. He's only been in a situation where people handle things with violence. That's it.
That's true. That's absolutely true. You know, and especially when you go through situations like that, it kind of makes you sometimes violent as well. You know what I mean? It kind of makes you want to lash out. And like they say, hurt people, whether it be psychological or subconsciously. You know what I mean? We extend that hurt back to people. You know what I mean? Some way, whether it be mental, it be emotional, it be some kinds of ways, you know what I mean? But just watching how he acts, we can see what type of situation that his wife was in. You can see how you want to be dominant when he's talking, and then he want to scream and get big on you. So if you're not a person that's really using your intellect, or a man, I think if it was a woman, he would have just wowed her up. You know what I mean? I think it takes a man to put a person like him in his face. You know what I'm saying? Because he couldn't get by with some of the things that I've seen him do with other people with Kwame. But one thing he has to understand too as well, Kwame could be a predator. I'm not going to take that from him. But what I will say is, see, Kwame's to another level, though.
Yeah.
When you're a sports player or entertainer, first of all, you get media training, all type of stuff, because you need to know how to talk. You need to know how to react to questions like Jay Leno. You got to know the improv. You got to be quick with it. So you have those training. He probably could have even spoke to a specialist to say, listen, I'm about to have this guy on there. Probably I want to talk to this guy. How should I go about talking to this person?
That's what I mean.
When you're dealing with a strategic person, a person to bring minds in to strategize on you, and he has the money and he's using the money in the right ways. Like Hassan may have the money, but you're not thinking about this. You're just going on bravado and machismo. That's all you're moving off of. You know what I mean? After that's broken down, we look at your eyes, and your eyes tell the story of you being beaten, that this person, Kwame, is just assassinating your whole character on live. You know what I mean? He's playing with him. If you could see how you toying with somebody, that's 101 how you play with a person.
He was toying with him.
He played videos, right? After Hassan wanted to talk, then he plays the video. When he plays the video, he lets his video play for mad long. He's anxious. He's making him anxious. He wants to talk. You know what I'm saying? He's keeping him uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? He got him. He didn't even see what he was putting him into.
He walked. That's like you said, all the training, all the places he's been, all the rooms he's been in. And Hassan walked into the lion's den.
Walked into one, man. That's what I think it is. He just walked into one.
He walked into a lion's den.
You know what I mean? You talk about those people, the NBA players. First of all, everybody's not down with the damn Illuminati. Who the hell you think this is? A boys club?
Man, I don't understand.
You think it's a boys and girls club? Who do you think the so-called Illuminati is a boys and girls club?
Man,
everybody's in it?
I'm a Freemason. That Illuminati, man. That Illuminati is garbage, man. I'm a Freemason.
It's garbage. Of course it's garbage. But even if it ain't, you think it's for everyone? You think everybody's going to be in there? Come on, man. He's just talking about anybody that come from that side. If you're a basketball player, if you're this, you're that. Come on, man.
And he spoke, like I was saying, he spoke on Freemasonry. He was asking, he asked Kwame, and the way he said it let me know that he didn't know what he was talking about. He said, "Are you a Freemason?" And when Kwame responded, I don't know if Kwame was toying with him either. He said, "Mason. It's Mason. It's Freemason. It's not Mason."
Freemason.
That right there let me know that that's that jail talk.
That's that jail talk. Yeah, man. When you read a book on something, when you just skip by something and think you know it. You know what I'm saying? You walk around with the book and the kufi, right? You got the kufi on with the book.
Yeah.
One of those.
Yeah. No,
I'm telling you, my brother.
Right. No, man. That's really not how the world works, man.
It's masonry, man. It's Freemason, man.
Yeah.
Okay. And that's even in that, you know what I mean? That's just the knowledge of the 33 degrees, and it's just the world knowledge and different things, man. When people start to understanding what things are,
yes, sir.
Things are not exactly what you want it to be. Maybe some people may be anything, but that's the world. In any field can be anything, but that doesn't speak for everyone.
Right.
That doesn't speak for everyone. They might have good Masons. They might have bad Masons. They might be good black people. There'll be bad white people. There'll be good white people. There'll be black. So it doesesn't matter. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
everything
you got bad Masons. I'm a Freemason. You got bad Masons. Yes, you do. Yeah, yes, sir, you do.
You do.
Because they're people.
They're people. It's a personality thing. That's a person thing. You know what I'm saying? Just like, let's say a cop. He's not a bad cop, but he had a bad day today. So now you have a bad day. You see what I mean now? That's situational.
Yeah, at the end of the day, they're people.
And when you start to really study in the Freemasonry, then you understand that a lot of it comes from our knowledge as well. Right. So then when you start to see that you're running from something that is basically our knowledge as well, you know what I'm saying? Right. This is what it is.
Right. If he dislikes Freemasonry, then he's hiding. He's in the dark. You're in the dark.
He's in the dark, man. Yeah. I think he's in the dark with a lot of things. I think he's in the dark with his own sanity, his own mental health, and everything else. You know, my heart goes out to his wife and his children, though, because they seem to always be the butt end of all jokes, and it seems seems like they are always thrusted into everything that's involved with him. And he seems some way to clout chase that. Like he was having a separation from his wife, and then he was talking about her, and he's like, listen, man, sometimes I don't like that bitch. I could say I don't like that bitch, and then I could want to go buy her bag or some shit like that. Bro, like it's just certain things. You know what I mean? I gotta look at him and say, how much do you really love a woman? You know what I'm saying? Because when I listen to him talk about his own wife sometimes, you know what I mean? I got to think about it. I understand that could come from him not having as great of a relationship with his mom.
I could understand that.
You know,
I can see that.
That can be something that trickles from things like that, can lash out, and then you be more harsh towards women because you went through that psychologically as a child with your own mom. Because he says, I mean, like he didn't have that relationship with his mom and stuff like that. And then I think something, when they put him out with something, he was exposed. Come to find out it was his mom that exposed the information at that time. Some information that was exposed to him.
I didn't know that.
It could be, you know, related to things like that. I don't know though, man. Does he have to lose everything to learn? You know what I mean? I don't know if he's going to learn.
I think someone said this. A couple people said it. That would probably be the worst thing to happen to him if he did. And that's why I said I wouldn't want his channel taken away. I had made a comment in his chat when those two were talking at this, because I was watching it live when it was happening, and I said, man, I hope this. When he was getting cut up by Kwame, I was like, man, I hope this brother don't hurt himself, because looks like that's probably where he's going, because he's going off the deep end. You know what I mean? Me, like I said before, me myself having dealt with things in my life and having mental health issues behind it, I can see where he's coming from. But at the same time, to admit it himself, then he understands it. You know what I mean? He understands this thing that happened to me is what drives me or makes me tick, or what makes me go left or go off or lose it. He understands that because he said it.
Yeah, that's an absolute fact.
And with that knowledge, you should go, well, I know that this hurt me, but I'm not going to let this drive me off the deep end. I understand that it hurt me, but I'm not going to keep talking about it and let it fester and keep pulling this scab off. And I think that's what he keeps doing. He's doing two things. He's using it for sympathy.
Yes.
And he keeps ripping that scab off. So he's never going to
heal.
He's never going to heal.
It's never going to heal. Yeah, but like that, though, like you mentioned, right? So it comes with a sense of, you know, inner peace, you know what I mean? Exactly. Inner understanding for you to start to digress these type of thoughts, these emotions, and, you know what I mean? This whole situation, because, you know, you're a victim in this situation. It's not like sometimes the victim tends to blame themselves, like, you know what I mean? They've done something wrong. And it's a lot that goes along with situations, you know what I mean? How would you go, you know what I mean? Just clearly seeing your situation and still not letting it take away from you as a person, because you've never done any wrong anyway. How do you go about that? How does a person go about that?
It you know something, it's for some it may be hard. Me myself, I say, like I said, not letting it define you. And actually, if he has the wrong audience, and the audience you speak to, that's like, you know, if you're going to speak to somebody who's actually listening to you instead of talking at somebody and wanting them to hear you, that could be a turn off. That could hurt you too. Like if I'm trying to tell you you're hurting me and you could care less, that just brings more pain. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So just shouting it out loud to some random people, it's not going to bring you any healing. First, you gotta start with yourself. You know what I mean? He needs to start with himself and figure out that this thing is making me do this. This thing is making me behave this way. until he reconciles with that, until he watches his own video, and I guess he did because he took that last rant down.
Yeah, he took that shit down quick. That's the first time.
So I guess he did look at it,
mm-hmm.
but sometimes it takes you tearing your ass, even though something happened to you, it takes you tearing your own ass or burning your own damn house down to realize that, something ain't right.
Yeah, something's wrong, right?
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like some of the effects that, throughout time that you felt like, after looking back, because when you're going through things at the time, you can never see that this is maybe the reason of why I'm acting a certain way. Like I had to really go back into my own life, a lot of things to see why I was like acting certain ways or being extra violent or doing certain things.
Yeah.
Things come back from childhood, you know what I mean? So
right.
What were, like after going through certain things, what were some of the things that you felt were some of the things that were the effects of that, whether it be like maybe you were more aggressive, maybe you were more introverted, you think it makes you like, what do you think?
I think some people deal with it differently, man. I dealt with it by being violent myself, personally. I dealt with it by being violent. Like I said, I could see myself in Hassan. So that's what made this, and like I said, I stumbled on him in the beginning because of that. And then once he started getting to talking to violence, I was like, oh, that looks like me. And then I was like, oh, I don't want to even see that. That's just not something I want to revisit, that violent nature.
That place.
Yeah, that
place. You got to go to a place to get to that place.
Yeah, that violent nature, man. So I was a buck 05. I was 150 pounds. I could box. I had hand speed. I called myself a thug, wasn't good at it, kept going to jail. I sucked at being a gangster. So I had hands. Like you could rob as many people as you want to rob, but when you go to jail, you suck at it.
Yeah,
you horrible at it. So I realized I was horrible at it. I had one of my OGs to say, "Hey man, you come back here again, I ain't gonna protect you. You're on your own." And I was 150 pounds, and I was like, "Okay, that's a message." So I put that down. But at the same time, my violence was still there.
Yeah.
My violence was still there. And I was actually locked up. And instead of trying to read I didn't try to find God. I tried to find me. I tried to find me. I was locked up and I had time to myself. And I was buck 05, went in there. I was quiet. Nobody bothered me. Sometimes people don't mess with the quiet guy, and nobody bothered me. So I got this book. I think it's called The Spirit of a Man.
Okay.
It's by Iyanla Van Zandt.
Okay.
And that book, bro, was talking about me. It was talking about the reasons why men do what they do. Father not being there, things happening in your childhood, the whole upbringing of men having to be tough and knowing how to fight all the time. That book, that thing right there changed my life, man. It really told me. I was reading my life. I was reading Iyanla describe why I was acting the way I was acting. And I was like, oh, I do. That's exactly what I do. And the next page, that's exactly what I do. That's exactly what I do. And I realized. And she was describing what her father did. And I was like, oh man, that's who I am. And I said, and the whole book is about explaining it and how to turn it around, and it's a great book. Like I said, I don't have any. I'm nobody. I don't know Iyanla. It was just a good book. And I recently, a couple months ago, bought it again just to reread it. It's a good book. I advise any black man to read that book. If you've been through something in your life, read that book.
I will. I'm most definitely going to read that book right there.
Oh, that's a different. That's a different picture.
This is a different picture.
That's a different.
But look at the age. Look at the age level of him. That's what I'm saying, bro.
That's not even the one.
This man is 30-something years old right here.
That's a different one.
right? So this is a whole nother picture.
Yeah,
the man is 30-something years old, and with the man still saluting him. Can we really believe that the man was dealing with the man like this, and like Bambaataa was all of that to this man? Look, he's still around this man at this age. Yeah. Look at the age of this man right here.
Totally different picture, bro. Yeah, I see this one. The one I saw, that's a new one for me.
You see what I mean? I see a couple of them. So this is crazy. This is why I just bring it in real quick, not just throw it in there abruptly, but I just see it and it just makes you think like, okay, you got all these things. You saying all of that stuff, man. All right. Then what kind of a person, you make a joke on that same rant, which everybody has took in the rant. I have the rant on my page as well. And in there you said, you know, man, all right, man, y'all trying to get at me? So fuck it then, man. Africa Bambaataa, yo, you could come and give me some fellatio or something like that.
Yeah, right? Man, that right there. Oh, my God.
What kind of jokes is that, man? First of all, what kind of joke is that? If you've been through a situation, what kind of a joke is that?
Man.
Then he uses a rap thing, don't pop it, don't stop it. What?
Man.
You serious? You serious? And he refers and references a song?
Man.
Are you serious?
A song that was probably playing. Just saying.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, man.
So like nothing comes from nowhere, man. I think that was all of that is, it comes from a place.
Look,
you know
man,
what I'm saying?
If something has ever happened to you, you could never do that. You could never do that. The person who harmed me had to leave the state. There wasn't no rocking this. There was no. I was 15 and I was a kid when it happened, and when I turned 15, it was on sight. He didn't get a swing in. He looked at me and laughed. And when he laughed, I tapped him in the nose one time to just fuck with him. Tapped him in the nose, and he put his hands up, and I smiled, and it was over. It wasn't what it was rap. It was done. He left the state.
Look at that. Look at
that right there. If someone hard, that will repulse you.
Mm-hmm.
That would trigger you. If you are so upset about it, that would trigger you. Don't matter. Yeah. There's forgiving people. If he forgave him, that's one thing. But to be in the presence, in the pose for a picture.
Come on, man. And you want to be there, bro. Come on, man.
That right there to me.
So I got to start to look at the situation and say, I can't blame this man as hard as you blaming this man.
Right.
Even if y'all had something going on, whatever the situation was, I don't know. But the way you're going about this and the way first of all, you put a whole attack on the man at first.
Right.
It was a big press conference, all types of stuff going on. It was hundreds of people there, all type of stuff. And throughout that whole time, you still spending time around this man.
Look, you know what that looks like to me? That looks like to me that this is what I'm thinking. There's something that actually happened between the two of them. And he was locked up and he had all that time to stew on his plan about what he was going to do. Clout chase. He had all that time to stew over how he was going to handle Bambaataa. Now he's got Bambaataa by the ball, so to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He went in on Bambaataa. Now he's taking a picture with Bambaataa. He's fucking with us now. The people that was listening to the story and got involved, it's almost like he's gloating right here. It looks like Hassan is gloating.
Because he looks happy.
He looks
like, yeah, what's up? Like, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
That's what it looks like.
That's his vibe. That's his vibe. Like, yeah, what's up? I'm here.
He looked like he's gloating.
He's gloating. So after you put us through this emotional roller coaster, we over here feeling sorry for you and all these types of things, and then you still going about things like this now.
Yeah, he gloating.
How can we really feel sorry for you, brother?
Yeah.
How can we really feel sorry? How can we not think that is a clout chase? How can we not think that is somewhat of a ploy? Not to say that nothing happened to you, because I think that, you know what I mean, we need to take people's claim like that serious. When people make claims, especially in a society, you quick to throw a person down or quick to make that person who's the victim like the culprit, bro. No, they're not. So we have to take situations like that seriously when people make statements and claims like that. But we have to do our due diligence to really investigate these things, because if this is the real situations, you know what I mean, why are you not pursuing this?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Why are you doing these type of things?
Right.
You over here clout chasing, taking pictures with the man.
Okay.
You know what I mean? It's hard for me to believe.
Here's another thing that I thought of too. He's talking about, he pulls out his money and he's talking about how much money he has, this, that, and the third. When he was pulling out that money, as we were watching that video, I was wondering, where did he? I remember the photo I told you about. Where did he get that money? Is that YouTube money, or is that Bambaata's Be Quiet money? I'm just putting it out there.
It be real, man. It be real, man.
Otherwise, why
you're not wrong for thinking that.
Otherwise, why take the picture?
You're not wrong.
Bambaata.
That's what I'm saying.
Bambaata paid him, and then he posed with Bambaata. Everything's good. You feel me?
Yeah, but he probably tried to blackmail him. It probably looked like a blackmail situation at first that just spun out of control. It's kind of probably like a blackmail situation kind of deal. College was trying to blackball Africa Bambaata. His page gets views, so he can't get money off of that. You make money off of that. You know what I mean? Because you could be getting anywhere from like $20 per 1,000 views, $10, $15 per 1,000 views.
I'm not down there at all.
So I get that he can be making that. And he get donations too.
But
so he get money.
But I'm just saying.
Put it past him.
What's that, bro?
I wouldn't put it past him.
I'm just saying.
I wouldn't put it past him.
He could have.
For real.
Otherwise, I'm just trying to think of reasons why you would pose for that picture.
Yes, it had to be something. No, you know what I think it is? I think it was more, you do something for me, I'm gonna do something for you, because Star ended up mentioning something like that too, that he asked for Bam to come to be a part of something, that like to help something, or to confess something, or to do something to help us. And I think Bam didn't do it, so that let him go even harder. Bang.
Right.
So it's kind of like a leverage that you want him to kind of like blackmail him into doing things that you want to do. You want to control him. He really want to control Bam. This is what it seems like.
That's what it seems like.
The man want to control Bam.
I think that's what it is.
Bam been in power. Bam was controlling everything. Bam had the whole Zulu nation. People were mad Bam, regardless of what you want to say about Bam, his lifestyle or whatever. Bam control a lot of people, man. And a lot of people are not going to like that, regardless of what Bam is or whatever you think he did. He's a leader. People don't like leaders. We have to also remember that. And he's a black leader.
Yeah.
He's a leader of black people. So at the end of the day, Hassan came up under his tutelage too. So at the end of the day, he's vying for his position probably the whole time.
Yeah, I think there's some cloud chasing in that. But otherwise, what's the point?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. I don't know, man. Let us know what y'all thinking about this crazy situation. Yeah, man. I don't know, man. I think that Hassan should take a little break, but I think that he should take a break, not to just take a break from YouTube, because YouTube is a funny place that you got to stay active on it, or you lose whatever you probably have sometimes. But I think he just needs to take a step back and revisit the message, revisit what it is he's trying to get across, revisit what it is he's trying to teach these kids out here. And then him go out and go help some kids on his own. And stop asking for Kwame Brown or anybody to have to put up money with you, like we outside getting a Lucy, or like we outside getting a 50 cent juice.
Man.
It's not that serious, man.
That was nonsensical.
Do it. If you're going to help someone, you help them.
He should have did it on his own.
That's it. You should have did it on your own. Now you're trying to use that as a thing to make the people say, word, if Kwame don't do it, you see some people who's coming in the team saying that?
Yeah.
Hassan is smart. He did that.
That message. He did put that message in there. Everybody jumped on it. The simple-minded people,
sway the narrative.
The simple-minded people jumped right on.
Simple-minded. He's trying to sway the narrative.
Yeah.
That's it.
Simple-minded.
You know what I mean? Exactly, man. He's trying to sway the narrative, man. Which I can't take, man. Most definitely. I don't know, man. Shout out to Khari for most definitely expressing his thoughts on these topics. You know what I'm saying? I look forward, to having them on multiple streams. You know what I'm saying? Different kinds of topics. I cover different kinds of things. I cover sports. I cover all types of stuff. Very knowledgeable, a very, very knowledgeable person.
Appreciate
I think that many of you can learn from KHARI, you know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, he doesn't want no YouTube page.
No,
so when you get these kinds of knowledges, make sure you get your pens and your pencils. When I bring KHARI on the platform, have your pen ready and take the knowledge down, because this is how you're going to get it. You know what I'm saying? It's most definitely concentrated dope energy.
That's it.
And I respect you too as well, man. I appreciate you.
I checked out your rap page, man.
Mm-hmm.
I checked out what you was doing. I like what you was doing. I'm a rapper too. I've been
so we gonna cook up. We gonna put our mind together. Okay.
Make beats too.
Okay.
All of that.
Oh yeah. We about to put our mind together.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Yes. Oh yeah, we putting our minds together. I'm most definitely gonna send you the number and everything so that we most definitely could put our minds together. I'm definitely I got segments that I'm doing. I'm open to doing something like this as well, while we're gonna have the ear of the people, because they'll listen now and later or tomorrow, whenever. But I'm open to because I'm a musician, I'm an artist and stuff. So I've been doing live streaming and podcasting for the last months, but I'm gearing up for my new album. So I'm about to slow down on some of this podcasting and gear up for the album. So I'm going to be doing segments with beat makers and different things, how to create beats and different things like that. Maybe going about creating just a beat channel. It's a YouTube beat channel, something like that, where we could start promoting that and getting some of those beats out there. Maybe that'll be good. How you think about that?
Yeah, that's cool, bro. What's the name of the album?
Oh, my name of my album is called UDA, Red plus Blue equals Green. I'm coming to unify the gang culture within my neighborhood, the Bloods and the Crips within my community, trying to show them that the red and the blue can come together and we can make money. We don't have to just be thinking of color banging and thinking of your skin tone and things like that. You know what I mean? We can come together, bring our minds together, take away some of these things that the fake OGs that lied to us from back in the days lied to us about all this shit. You could have just went to school and had a better life than everybody. They ain't just say that shit sometimes.
I had a good OG. My OG told me don't come back.
See what I mean?
Don't do that. Don't come back.
See what I mean? I had good OGs too. But there were some that didn't. You know what I mean? And there was a lot of OGs that if you were feeble-minded, then you fell victim. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people just used you and it kept you in a position. You know what I'm saying? We come from the streets, especially at a certain time, you had to really go through it to learn it. It wasn't like this internet age where you could just see everything and they seeing people get killed in real life online and all type of shit. If you wasn't there, you never seen a dead body. You know what I'm saying? If you didn't go outside, you didn't see certain things. Nowadays, we're living in a different world. You know what I mean? So
internet games.
Definitely look forward to us building up with the music. Where you from? What city you in?
I'm in Columbus, Ohio, man.
Oh, you in Columbus, man? Memphis. Shout out to Columbus.
Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, you from Memphis, man? Yeah, man. It's about a lot of good soul down there, some good jazz down there and all that.
You've been down there.
Yeah, man. I just I do the knowledge, man. I do the research, man. I'm a person that I most definitely read a lot.
What about you?
I like to stay in touch.
Where you from?
I'm in New York. I'm in Brooklyn, man. Old New York. I'm out here in Brooklyn. I'm in New York. You know what I mean?
I saw you on the block. I saw you out there. I saw you out there.
Yep. We outside beat block. And I mean, because that's when I started my podcast, you know what I mean? Because it's called Beat the Block, the first initial podcast that I started because, I just stopped selling drugs and different things like that and put my mind into my music and my craft. And it got me into podcasting, live streaming. Sometimes, you know what I mean? I've been in positions to be successful. I've been in positions to accept deals and different things that some people have not been in. And some of those things I turned down and some of those things I did run from as well. And sometimes things are just life things. You're just in the streets, you're doing this, you're doing that. Sometimes it's just 24 hours in a day. If you're not spending all your time on your craft, what are you doing? You know what I'm saying? Period. And sometimes that's just the difference between successful people and unsuccessful people.
I heard you earlier talk about your 5950.
Oh yeah, the 5950 is like this one right here. All of the dope hats that we got. The website is www.don'thidetheplug.com because we feel that everybody's trying to hide the plug, man. Everybody come from a place where it's a crab in the barrel mentality. If a person has a link, they don't want to tell you because it takes it away from them. No, it doesn't appreciate me if I tell you something. It don't stop me unless I'm not a hustling. I'm going to get on my grind and go do what I do. What does this have to do with me if I link you with something? We have to stop that mentality that we can't help each other if I help you. You know what I'm saying? That takes away from me. We have to stop hiding the plug. If I know something, if I know a beat maker, I can link you like now with a beat maker. Yeah. If I know producers and things, if I know people that's doing film, you say, damn, I need a cameraman. Then I can link you with a cameraman. If I know something, your links become my links. And this is what we got to start doing. Yeah. And this is how we're going to start creating that unity and that cohesion between us.
Man, I love to see that, man. If I want to see you win. I want to see you win.
I want to see you win. That's just what I want to do. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Because if I win, we win. Right. That's how I look. You know what I'm saying?
I'm definitely going to copy.
That's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
I ain't got to fit it. I ain't had to fit it in a minute, but I'm going to get one from you.
Most definitely. I appreciate you, man. I most definitely appreciate
man, I like support. I like supporting my people. You also there's a lot of YouTubers out there, man, and beat makers. They're on that cyber thugging, or they're producers 1 minute, then they're beefing with somebody in the chat. Man, brother, that drives me absolutely nuts.
Crazy too.
I want to go somewhere where somebody's doing positive, preaching a positive message. You know, if you're going to do some gangster rap, we all know it's entertainment, and you got to know that's just what it is. You know.
Video is sponsored by our first ever sponsor, Don't Hide the Plug. Don't Hide the Plug is an apparel company co-founded by two brothers from Flatbush, Tafari and Rossi Harper. Now, these two black brothers have created an amazing, inspiring, high-quality brand. Now, you see on Infominds, a lot of our content is New York-based. We love New York, so it's only fitting that we partner up with a New York-based brand, Don't Hide the Plug. Now, they got some fire fitted hats, hoodies, T-shirts, and I'm feeling the old New York design with the bridge logo. They got the clout joints, the dad hats, and you can also have them delivered to you in the resealable merch by the pound bags, too. Now, mind you, they might be New York-based, but their apparel is for everyone, whether you're from New York, Miami, Texas, Chicago. It's a grassroots movement. Get in tune. And they offer free shipping on all domestic orders of $75 or more. But if you enter the exclusive Infominds promo code, you'll get an additional 10% off at checkout. You already know I ordered my package. My package is on its way. So I'll be wearing and showcasing the Don't Hide the Plug apparel in my next live. Go out and support these brothers.